with another episode of Brew Your Mind, a podcast where we get to drink a delicious beverage and you guys get to sit back and listen to us ramble about what's on our minds. I'm Mustache Justin.
Hey, I'm getting there. Mustache Jesse coming in live, baby.
Happy Mustache March, Jesse.
Hey, we trying. You said it last time. You said to jump right in. Mm-hmm. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for jumping back in with us and joining us another bi-monthly podcast we got going on here.
Yee.
Quick plug, if you would like to see this on YouTube, as usual, we have that. We'll post that a week after we post the audio, and you can find that ad on YouTube at Brew Your Mind Pod. Brew Your Mind Pod, all one word.
BYP. Holding it down. Dude,
welcome,
I love everybody.
I
love you.
I'm so happy to do this.
Episode 48. This is good stuff. Next episode 49. Episode 50, y'all, is going to be the season 2 finale.
Season 2,
right?
man.
And I'm thinking we do something big. You know, we get
kill
to
a main character.
Brew Your Mind. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
make him come back.
character.
A big old cliffhanger going into season 3. But go live on Instagram, get some topics flowing, get some people involved, just like we did in season 1.
Hey,
it's exciting, man.
big time.
It's exciting. You're leaving us soon, so
Big brain.
we gotta crush quick.
Man, I got good internet from what I'm told where I'm going. Internet should be choice, so I'm going to take all this.
Okay.
And it's like continuity, baby. No issues. Podcast first. Defending my country second.
Second, you heard it here first at BYM. Hey, young JG, is JC here? What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to take a wild sip for this. If you're watching on YouTube, we got Jack Daniels. And I'm alluding to that, so I'm going to taste this straight. I haven't had Jack straight in a long time, so I'm going to rate this. So here we go.
Rate the hell out of it. I want to know what made you get Jack all of a sudden, just randomly, and just sipping it like it's apple juice.
It's got a bite to it.
There's that little pee shiver, you know what I'm saying? When you're after the urinal, you just a little, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So the reason why I have the Jack sitting here is because I don't have a problem. But I made whiskey lemonade in a mason jar. Man. Let me take a sip.
Nice, dude.
Wash that down. I'd rate that a solid 10 out of 10. It's my favorite drink. It's whiskey lemonade. Some call it Lynchburg lemonade. Because Jack is made in Lynchburg, Tennessee. And, Justin, it's not over. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you want to see this, tune in to YouTube. I got something else here. I got a can, Justin. It's, so Katie, my dear sweet Katie. She's a beautiful girl. She's doing great in life. You're doing great. You're a sweetheart. Love what you're doing. Keep it up. She's into the sours. So we got here Prometheus.
Whoa.
I believe.
Oh. Can I see that can real quick?
Yeah, it says a pomegranate and blueberry sour ale. Can you see the can?
Oh, that looks
dark,
sick, dude. Yeah, that looks sick.
And it looks like it's 3 Taverns craft beer, I believe. That's who makes it. In Dekker, Georgia. Hey, there we go. We got another Georgia beer. So let's pop a top again.
Pop top again.
I think I'll have another round. Set 'em up, my friend. Here we go. Taste test.
Dude, this is electric. Jesse bringing in 3 drinks tonight like it's a season finale. This man, wow, he's a wild boy.
Well, I save up all my drinking energy for this because I don't really drink at all until this podcast. And it's a Friday night tonight, boys, and we're going to set it off to 10. That's delicious, by the way.
Is it good?
Yes.
Talk to me more about it. Give me some quick hits.
Let's take
notes.
another.
I almost want to taste it through you. Never mind. I want to.
Yeah, taste it through me.
I want to experience it. Come on.
Okay. So
you can lick your lips all you want, but I need to experience it.
It's kind of foamy, and it's got that nice light taste to it. Like it's like floating in your mouth, you know?
Okay, so not heavy. Okay.
Not crazy sour. I'd say probably more about 1 out of 10 on the sour scale, probably like a 7. So not overwhelmingly sour.
Okay.
I'm getting more pomegranate than blueberry, but pomegranate's a very strong flavor anywhere. You know, pom-pom. Yeet! You know?
Yeet. Pom-pom. Yeet.
Hey, that's good, man. I'm solid, man. Hey, turn up. Hey, that's my song. Turn up. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, that's my song.
What you got to drink? What you got to drink?
Dude, hey, Jesse, thank you so much for bringing the greatness to the episode tonight. For the first time in a very long time, we are recording on a Friday night, so it might get a little wild. You know, normally it's like a Saturday midday event, but here we are together.
Nuck if you buck, baby.
I'm a little upset because I don't have anything special. Okay, I didn't make it. I didn't make it to my special liquor store, but for some reason you brought 3 things to the table, and I looked down and I have 3 things brought to the table. All pretty basic stuff.
We got tables, baby.
Weirdly got Taco Bell today. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
So we got Baja Blast pineapple juice and Sailor Jerry mixed together.
Oh.
I don't know why I did it, but it's
Oh man.
Chef's Kiss.
Hey.
The beer that I'm going with is
Mixed
now
drinks.
my new favorite beer, maybe because I wasn't raised around it for so long. But hey, Jesse, hold it down for some Yingling, man. You know what I'm saying?
East
Love
Coast,
me
baby.
some Yingling. And then I'm going to wash it down. Something light. We got a little Bud Light seltzer. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
A little bit of cranberry.
We did not
feel a
coordinate
little bit
this, did we?
Not at all, but we did bring 3 things together. So,
Wow.
It's gonna be
Hey,
wild.
turn up.
Turn up.
Hey, I gotta say, shout out to Chris V, the guy that does this beautiful singing in that band that I'm that part-time
Dunes.
band. He
Y'all
loves
go
the
to Spotify
Baja
and check
Blast.
out Dunes. DVNES.
Thank you for the plug, my man. Shout out to Dunes. Shout out to Chris V. He loves the Baja Blast. Shout out to
nice.
the soda man over there. We got mixed
This
drinks.
episode is brought to you by Baja Blast.
Baja Blast, Taco Bell. What it is. What's up? We got Jack Daniels representing. We got Yingling representing Pennsylvania. Oldest brewery in the nation, I believe.
Oldest brewery.
Yingling. If you haven't tried it, try it. Yeah, I guess if you're further west than the Mississippi River, they won't sell it there, right? Or something like that. Or
Something like
sort
that, yeah.
So, East Coasties, let's go. Turn up.
East
Stand
Coasties.
up.
Throw
Let's
the
go.
E's in the sky.
So, what you got going on this week, man? What's good?
What's good? What's up?
That's what I'm talking about.
I've been feeling weird lately, man. Like since that vaccine, I've been feeling pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? It's been abnormally strong. I've just been lifting things like
For real?
couches and cars, just randomly just picking them up and throwing them down.
You been feeling good? I ain't got that second one yet.
No, when do you get your second one?
Well, I don't know because
Are they going to give it to you before you deploy?
I don't know because I don't know if they want to give it to me. I think they want you to. I don't know. From what I heard, they want you to have it, but not be going on a TDY within 30 days.
Oh, I see.
So I'm going two TDYs.
Yeah.
Soon. So I got the first one, and I guess I could get the second one and not tell them. You know, I'm going anywhere.
Could. You could.
Just give it to me.
Yeah.
I want to feel sick.
Because I don't know, like, do you have to get it within a certain window after getting the first one? Like, to the point where you have to get the first one again?
I think so, and I think I might be creep. You know how I do. I like to procrastinate.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll get that shot tomorrow. Fun fact, I just got my flu shot yesterday because I am so forgetful. I love this. This is me. Exactly me. I get a flu shot in March because I can't be bothered to get it during flu season when we're supposed to get it. I like to go overdue on that to where my bosses are calling me like, why don't you have a flu shot? You're showing on your records you're overdue. What's wrong? That must be wrong. A responsible person would get their flu shot, not me. You know what I'm saying? What are you excited about in life? I got a question for you. I'm gonna hop right into it. This is a topic I don't think we've ever talked about personal lives that I can remember. And I don't know how I feel about it. But I'm gonna be fully honest. Ooh. How do you feel about having kids? Is that something you want to do? Have we talked about this?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Well, remember, I'm glad I mentioned the last season finale because it was that season finale when Jared asked the question, when are you guys having kids? I think he asked something along that question.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Remember? Yeah.
What's your like? Is there a certain age where you're like, it's time to have kids? How do you know?
I actually, that's a good question. Is because, I mean, many people have kids at various ages, right? It just happens. Which, speaking of which, shout out to Sam's brother John. John. Just had a kid 2 days ago. So congratulations, young Gus for short, keeping the Dekker name alive with the boys.
Nice.
So congratulations on that. That's awesome. I actually, for me, I almost, because like everyone that like I know or have been around either have like a kid already or working on like their second, and I feel like I'm behind the curve. And that's a weird feeling because you're not supposed to, you're supposed to just be like, hey, whenever it happens, it happens.
Dude.
But yeah, dude, ASAP, totally having a kid.
That's my life. You're feeling like
Baby
feeling
cake
behind.
2021.
I feel like I'm feeling behind. I think that's the thing I struggle with is that feeling of like it is doing what you're expected to do. And like I don't want to do that, but like I have this like sometimes this old fashioned mindset about things.
Yeah.
Like I need to be expected to and make a certain amount of money to take care of things and like to never have Katie ever ask for or have to pay for anything or and it's kind of a harmful mindset to have, but I don't
can end up burning you in the long run because you're just overthinking it too much. And if we keep doing that, because I catch myself in that same place as you.
I do that.
It's never going to happen, right? We're never going to think that we're ready, and we're going to keep pushing it off, So, man.
I don't know. But then it's like with kids, I feel like I should get to the point where I'm like ready to like pop off on them, have some kids,
Pop off, wet the baby's head.
Wet the baby's head with it, with that Jack Daniels, Bring him into the world correctly. Give him a little buzz, a little sniff, huff it, huff some of that gasoline. No, but I mean, I don't know. I want to ask people. I wanted to take a like survey of people I know. Just be like, you have kids now, and how was your perception of what you thought having kids was going to be like? And is it that? Is having kids better, worse, or is it different?
I feel like the answer you'll get, and it may not be the honest answer, but it'll be the same answer from everyone.
Yeah.
And it'll be
I love it.
It's fantastic.
It's
amazing. The best thing. I mean, as a parent, you're obligated to say that because if you say anything else to someone, you're going to look bad as a parent. It's like, this person doesn't deserve a kid because he definitely doesn't. He said it was a bad idea.
I'd love to get like anonymous answers on subjects like that people are afraid to. Yeah. Obviously, like I wouldn't want to say something like that either if I had kids, and then because you don't want to say that and be like,
no,
see someone in person like looking at you say that because then you're going to think, oh man, they must think I'm an awful person because it sounds like I wish my kids weren't around because you love your kids. I mean, most normal. Most people I assume do, but I don't know. I just think there's probably a lot more people out there that do regret having kids. I think they just don't want to say it. I think I'm just curious because it's kind of like some people I think view it as like the answer to their unhappiness or their feeling of unfulfillment, and it's like some people it's like that is their fulfillment, and then I just think it's a gamble sometimes because I'm like some people I don't think everyone should be parents. Like, it's expected, but, like, should everyone really be parents? But what does life look like if you don't want to have kids and you're, like, 60 and 70? What do you do then?
Yeah.
That's what I worry about.
And to turn it back at you, your view, like, I've never really actually heard, is there a certain age that you want to have a kid by or, anything? Like, because you want to be a dad one day, right? Yeah, that's something you could see yourself, but...
I guess. I mean, I'm honestly kind of like indifferent about it sometimes.
Yeah.
But then what makes me think about it is, it's because I'm very like passive about life in general. Like I'm passive about my career. I'm passive about a lot of things. I just float around sometimes,
Except our relationship. You're very active in our relationship.
Except for me and you. Exactly. But I just feel like what makes me wake up sometimes because I get passive about like staying in the Air Force too. I'm like, I could do without it. But then I think like, what's life going to look like 15 years from now, 20, 30, 40? Health insurance, is that going to be an issue? Probably if I don't have it. And then like even like having kids or no kids. Having no kids, I'm thinking 60, 70 years old, 80 years old. What does no grandkids, no family look like? Because your friends are going to die. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You're going to get old and tired. You don't want to travel the world as much, probably. You don't want to do all these things that you think you're going to do. When I get old and retired, I'm going to do all this. But it's like, maybe you just want to live a quiet, simple life and not go anywhere. But then what? What's important to you then? But then it's too late. It's scary. Life is meaningless.
Yeah. You brought up it is. It's very meaningless. You brought up a point about, because it's funny because you said like, you think of like, life without the Air Force, where you'd be no health insurance, that kind of stuff. And that's like my greatest fear is for some reason just having to like get out of the Air Force. And it's like, because like I think about it now, it's like, I don't know what I would do. I'm in no position right now to just bounce off my feet. Like I feel like I would
No.
just go in a spiral. And then to think like
Yeah.
if something like that happened and I have to take care of a kid as well and my family, it's like, oh my gosh, it gives me almost like a panic attack. And then I drink, and then I drink, and I drink, and I drink some more.
We're like institutionalized at this point. We've been in so long, we're coming up on 10 years
Stockholm
almost. Like we're so used to life and all that. So it's like you can't really imagine yourself like doing something else, which is, I don't know, I guess good and bad, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that panic attack about thinking about something going wrong and me losing my job is like,
It's wild. Now, let me ask you a question. Are there times while you've been in the Air Force or any time recently, I guess you could say, that you sometimes forget that you're in the military? Like, just like going to work, you don't even think like you're in the military, or like when you get home, you're just like, it's
pretty
like, wait a
normal.
minute. Yeah, like,
yeah.
I understand like in the beginning of our careers, it was very,
Very
very
different.
structured, this is the blue way and whatnot. But I think as of
Yeah.
late, there are moments, in the day or in the week that, remind me, yes, okay, yeah, I am. But there's a lot of times where like I'll come home, it's like, I just worked a 6 to 2 admin shift. It was like a normal day of work. And it's just sometimes it doesn't really, cross my mind, especially not like living on a base now. You get to get away and you go back to like your own house that you bought.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just, I don't know. But I'm so thankful and blessed for it. Don't get me wrong about that.
Blessed. Manifest it, baby. Manifest it.
Manifest. Also, so we talked about, I want to bring a topic up.
I love that.
Pick me.
I picked you, Justin.
All right,
Always.
He picked me.
Mustache.
Mustache March. I must ask you a question, Jesse.
That made me laugh way too much.
Could
Could it be that Jack Daniels is kicking in? I don't know. Let's go. We're dropping in, baby. Punch him. Give it 1-2.
All right, so.
Oh wait! Before you go, if you have
Damn
kids,
it, Jesse.
if you
Let
have
me
kids,
talk.
if you have kids, would you want them to join the military? I think I do.
Oh, so that is, wow, that's crazy. That you asked
we'll make
that
this a
question,
short one because I want to know what you were going to say.
Yeah. So, that's crazy that you asked me that. Because I was thinking about that, I think last week or something like that for some weird reason.
Yeah.
I think I would. And of course, I'd push him towards a specific branch if I want. And, I'll leave it up to him, but if I did, I would tell him specifically to do ROTC, and go the officer route. You know what I'm saying?
ROTC and officers, they kind of have that homeschool vibe, though.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Some do. And I guess that's the difference because I'm sure
stereotypes.
You come across officers that were prior enlisted, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah.
9-day difference, right?
It is, yeah. Most of the guys I work with are warrant officers, so they're prior enlisted. So yeah.
But would you want your kids to be in the military?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you why. College, that's the thing. One of those things that they're expected to do. Just do 3 years. It'll fly by. You'll make lots of money, and I'm telling you, the money you'll make right then is way more. When you're young, 18. If I was making that much money when I was 18, it would have blew my mind. And it's not like a ton of money, but it was way more than I was making. Way more.
I remember seeing my paycheck when I was going through basic training.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. I'm getting yelled at and I'm making this already? And it's pretty exciting, but because I really think the benefits from military, and I don't see them ever going away because, we'll always need numbers.
What would they do? What would incentives be? Say if we were in a country where there was free healthcare and free college, what do you think they would have to do something to recruit
They have to come
people.
up with something,
It would have to be some signing bonuses, a lot more.
Signing bonuses or like BAH, housing allowance and whatnot would have to be jacked up,
Bump it up, Biden. Bump it up, Biden.
Pump up those numbers. They're rookie numbers. All right, my topic.
Yeah.
Can I introduce it now?
Yeah. Oh, we're ready to go, baby.
All right, so I have to give credit. Actually, before I get to this one, credit to Seth Warnicki. Seth, my dude. Kook.
Seth.
He had something to add to our topic from last week. Was the common skills that you don't know or don't do or don't. He mentioned changing a tire.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That is a good one.
I heard that, and it makes sense because a lot of people don't know how to change a tire, and I honestly haven't changed one for years now.
I've only done it once or twice, I think, my whole life.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could figure it out, but
yeah,
think there are probably a good handful of people that would struggle with it or try to jack the car up in the wrong part of the car. And
yeah. That's a big one. And
Yeah.
also, like, rotating the nuts when the tire is off the ground completely
Yep.
is like, if you ever change the tire, leave the
You have to
tire
do
on
it-
the ground and take the nuts loose because it'll keep the tire in place. Mm-hmm. But those are things you don't know until you do it. Like,
yeah,
and
you have to do it
yeah.
kind of like a star pattern, right? Like you don't just go around. And
When
do
you're
it. Yep.
tightening it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. You
So
wanna
yeah,
go
I had to
star.
add that because that was awesome. But
That's
anyways,
a
I'll tell
good
you-
one.
Yeah, it's good. I didn't even think about that.
Shout out, Seth.
Shout out, Seth. I was on the 6th today with Sammy. I said, "What we talk about today?" All right.
Shout
This
out,
is
Sam.
great. This is great. that
Sam
you brought
Dekker,
this,
and
'cause
he was in Athens, which is some wild
balling,
shit.
dude.
Balling,
Just
dude.
balling.
Hey, we're talking positive vibes on here. Always positive vibes. Sharpening your mind. Follow Sam Dekker. Sharpen your mind, dude. He's out there like putting positive vibes out there. Love the guy. Wish I knew him more in real life.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet up with him one day. He's gonna be back on the pod. Look at his the DekkerPost.com.
Tell him.
He writes
Tell him.
writes a blog on there. It's great. It's very insightful. He's really tall. He's a tall guy, and he's from Wisconsin. Some of the best people I've met are from Wisconsin. Not even kidding. Not even kidding.
You can name 2.
I can name 4. There were 2 in Alaska that I worked with.
Nice.
Great guys.
Yeah. It's something
Great
in the water up
guys,
there.
man.
Just something in the water.
There
But
is,
I was like,
man.
"Hey Sam, what do we talk about?" And he brought up a great point. Because what happened a year ago this week, today?
This week today. What is today?
Last year.
Could it be something about the Corona?
Exactly, man. And
COVID?
And he mentioned specifically what have we learned from COVID. We take a step back from where we are. Throughout the quarantine, what we learned from there. Are there certain relationships that have actually built like stronger, have gotten weaker over this last year? And we'll start with that. Real good stuff that we can break down here, because I know it's crazy. Because I'm kind of big in my time hop. I love just reliving what I was doing years and years ago on this day. I love it. I think it's awesome to do. And then
Word.
just yesterday I opened up time hop, and then it was like the whole the NBA game. Got called in the middle of halftime because a player tested positive, and then all of a sudden Tom Hanks tested positive, and then Europe got shut down, and it was like it just put me right back. Like I knew exactly. It felt like, I don't want to compare it to the two, but it felt like a 9/11 type moment where I knew exactly what I was doing and where I was when all that stuff started popping off. But yeah, man, what do you think? Like over this last year, is there anything that you've learned, or is there anything that I don't know. Let's just dissect it, man. Let's peel this thing back like a birthday cake, man.
Well, it's interesting. I think sometimes, I don't know what I've really learned. I guess I guess I've learned in myself how much more of a social butterfly that I really am. You know what I mean? And like this kind of stuff is and I'm also like, for the most part, one of those people that care about, not going out and not doing too much around people and, being safe and whatever. But, I mean, I'd say I'm 75% that. Then there's 25% of me that just kind of throws caution to the wind sometimes. I'm like, well, if I get it, I get it, whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess I've learned. I guess I feel like I need more. I really miss just freely going into bars or whatever. I don't know. Not even really bars. Just. But also, it's weird seeing how politicized wearing a mask has become.
Yeah.
And I'll even hear guys at work sometimes be like talking about how it comes out, in conversations or frustrations with it's stupid that people wear masks. And I'm kind of like, wow. It's just funny how something so I think it's stupid to fuss over really wearing a mask. I'll be honest, it's getting old. And I would like to, because like there's a couple times still I'll go somewhere and I'll forget a mask and be like, oh, damn, I don't have one. And then I find myself getting frustrated. I'm like, what? Why are we still doing this? Because but that's just like a reaction I have. I know why we're still doing it, but I don't know what I've learned. That's a good question. I haven't pondered on this one. I haven't pre-gamed on this one. I haven't pre-gamed on this subject, so I don't really know what have I learned.
No,
I just need more social life, dude.
I'll say on the relationship part, I surprisingly have met more people than I would have if COVID never happened, and I think that also. I think there's something that kind of, made it easy for, people to kind of like strengthen their friendships or meet new people somehow is they had a common thing that they could relate on, and that's that they were going through the same thing together. They had to quarantine and whatnot, and they're going through this unknown thing together, and it's that mutual ground was met between the two, and it's just something that you share, like, man, this stuff is really crazy, isn't it? What have you been doing? And it's just like, I don't know. And then like you had everything else with, the politics, pretty much snowball throughout the whole time, and it just amplified COVID in general. I mean, it was a wild year, man. When you think about it, I can't believe it's been a year. Legit a year since it hit the fan.
I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, I don't know if I have that much to say of what I've learned. I feel like this should be a deep topic, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's just the weirdest thing that a mask can signify whether you're left or right, and you can tell. I don't know. It's so funny that would be the thing that just like upsets people, and then you could see how tolerant people are, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't really know. Justin, tell me what you learned. What'd you learn?
I learned that you're a beautiful soul.
Man, I just don't want to think about any negativity in life.
That's true. But I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like, was it? I mean, yeah, it was a negative. I didn't mean, I wasn't trying to say that. Was it actually negative? But like, I felt like we learned something as human beings going through this worldwide pandemic that maybe will benefit us in the future. When we do become parents eventually, this is something that we can discuss and say, hey, wear your mask if you want to be on the left. Don't if you want to be. No, I'm kidding about that part.
It's so weird though, and maybe this is going to sound extremely privileged to say, but from my like living daily, this hasn't felt like a pandemic to me. Because I've known people that have got it or tested positive, whatever.
Yeah.
And, we could talk about the conspiracies of the tests and if they're accurate or not. I think they're accurate, but I'm just saying, whatever. But it hasn't felt like a true thing in my, like, living daily, Like, through the internet and stuff, I've seen tragedies and people saying that their parents have died for COVID or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I feel conflicted because to me it feels business as usual in life, except for businesses are acting differently, or you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like I haven't experienced anyone that I know.
Yeah.
That I know people have gotten it. People I've worked with, quite a few, but I haven't heard of anyone a tragedy.
No.
That I know of. So I guess to me, it just doesn't feel quite as severe as it appears to be. And I'm not saying it's not. It's tricky to say.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
It's just like a weird thing, like talking about, like, I don't know, because it just hasn't felt
I can relate to that, but
yeah.
I think that I can relate to that to a point, because in England, it felt like a pandemic. Everything over there was amplified. And legit, everything was shut down. I moved to Florida in June, July, and the gates are open to do whatever you want, basically. Yeah, they had a little bit of restriction with the masks, but gathering in public places just was not a thing in England while I left, and still got people over there, Eric, shout out to you, man. He PCS, he moved over there in the fall, and here we are in the middle of March, and they still haven't been able to check out any kind of England because they're shut down over there. So different parts of the world are still, pretty harsh about it. And in Florida right now, it almost feels like what's COVID? What are you talking about? There's no such thing.
Yeah.
We could care less. So I get what you're saying completely about
that
pandemic feeling.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the part of your world, because I was in Alaska and it wasn't like super, it wasn't super strict.
Yeah.
Like, not like California, from what I understand, was or something like that. And then I moved down here to Savannah when things were sort of, on the recovering, I guess. Like, people were slowly. So I got down here. It was like November, so everything felt business as usual for the most part. There was indoor dining and stuff, and there was still spaced out and all that, but I just felt like I didn't experience like that mass thing, really.
No. And that's probably we'd probably have a different message or a big overarching thing that we learned from it, if either one of us actually experienced a tragedy or something like that, like with a family member or something, because then the easiest message could be like, hey, embrace your loved ones around you, because you never know what could happen. Honestly, you never know. Coronavirus, never expected such thing.
Right.
But for us not to experience that thing, it's tough to actually find the big thing that we actually learned from what happened a year ago and what we've been going through for this whole year.
I just feel like I haven't felt the full impact, so I don't want to. I'm not downplaying anything. I'm just being like real with like what I've experienced and where I've been, and I just don't. I mean, I had a scare for a minute early on. My sister tested positive, and I was scared to death for my parents, especially my dad. He's like 77, so I was like, oh my God. I was still in Alaska at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's when the hype was like way more. I think the feeling was like there was no vaccine, nothing like that. So I was like thinking a lot of like, shit, like what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? So.
Well, I remember initially whenever you heard someone test positive in the beginning, your first thought is they're going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only thing in our mind. There was no recovering. Yeah. As time went on, we found out that there are a lot more cases to recover than actually not recover, and then it's older people. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy now when we think about that. We actually went through something like that put the world in its hand, and had so much control over it and control over everything that we did. And I'm just glad, especially as a sports fan, everything's starting to feel like it's getting normal again, and not just the day-to-day life, but, just we bike, Good topic.
What does that even mean, we bike?
Good topic. Listen, the night is young. We have more to talk about.
Pop a top again, baby.
What you got?
What I was wanting to kind of talk about. I feel like I disappointed you, by the way. Segue. I feel like I disappointed you because I didn't go in so hard.
Before I forget.
Topic.
Before I forget, I meant to mention, after I mentioned Sam said this, I wanted to give him a special shout out. Happy friend anniversary. Tomorrow is 1 year for us.
You're kidding me.
We're pretty serious. So I know what he got me already. I'm excited for it to get in the mail. And then Sam, you'll see what you guys. All right, next topic.
What I'm wondering is, everyone's talking about manifesting things. Manifest the good vibes, the good energy. I want to know, when is my Sam Dekker going to come into my life? I'm talking like, when am I going to randomly get DM'd by Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, or like Chris Tilley from the Nickel Creek?
Nickel Creek, man.
When am I going to get when am I going to make buddies with someone like that? That's what I'm saying. I need that. Manifest. So
manifest and retain.
Maybe I'll just shoot my shot. I'll just
shoot your shot, man.
Hey, Chris Tilley.
Chris Tilley, want to get dubs?
Yeah, dubs. You want to get on the war zone? Never know, man. Never know. But my next little subject here. So I was like chilling at work. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of dubs, speaking of Warzone, like I love video games, man. Love talking about video games. But I was at work, and I was like, these young kids. And I say that because I can tell I'm getting older. I'm 33, and I can feel it. Like I can feel the generational difference. So, how do you know? How do you know? What are some signs to you that you feel like you're getting old? Older, not like old, but like older. But for me, I was sitting at work, and there was like, it gets on my nerves. These kids come in. They'll come in to shoot the shit, doing nothing, and they'll just talk about video games. And it gets on my nerves like crazy. And when I catch myself getting agitated, I'm like, God, these kids. And then I realize I'm like, why am I getting so agitated? I sound like such an old person. And I'm getting agitated because to me, I'm like, that's not professional. But then I'm thinking, why am I thinking that way? It's because like, I don't know. I'm leaning into it, I think. You know what I mean? Just like I'm accepting that I am a little bit older now. These guys that are like 18, 19, obviously. So it annoys me. But I'm like, damn, I love video games. I could talk about video games. But for some reason, I don't want to at work. Like it's a weird thing, I guess. But is there anything that you catch yourself? Like you're like, you know, for me also, it's like fashion, like young kids fashion.
Yeah.
Or,
Can't keep
like,
up with it anymore.
No.
Can't keep up with it.
Do you ever feel like oh man, it's happening to me?
Absolutely. No, it's sprinkled in a little bit in England when I had some young airmen some young bucks in the workplace, and they'd either mention a song or a dance or a meme or something like that, and I'd relate to it like I normally would. And they'd give me that look like, You're too old.
You know what this is?
Yeah, like, wait, how do you know this? And I'm like, are you kidding?
That happens to me too. Yeah.
Are you kidding? And then so that happened, and then all of a sudden I got here, and then I became like a supervisor, like 3 or 4 younger folks, and just talking to them and the way they're talking to me, it's like there's a barrier of age difference, and it's really weird because like I'm almost 29, and I feel like I see myself as like a 21, 22-year-old at times. Right. You know, like I don't see myself as an older person at all. And then you say you're 33, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, dude, you're about to be 35, and then after that's going to be 37.
I know.
40?
No, I can't. Dude, turning 30 was hard for me. It was a difficult mental thing to accept.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you're almost 29, and I'm sure you feel like 21.
Yeah.
Like 22. Yeah. Because you don't feel any different. And then you're 30, and so you're like, oh my God, 30?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can remember when my mom was like 30-something, and she was like this idea. She had kids, you know. She was like this certain thing, and I turned 30, and I was like, "What the hell? What's going on?" Like I was still the same. And then it makes me feel weird because like you're expected to grow up, and then if you don't grow up, then there's people throw around this term like that man's got Peter Pan syndrome, and so it's like, well, what do I do? Either I just live my life and how I feel like living it. Either I don't want to grow up, or I'm growing up because I'm expected to grow up. So what do you do?
Yeah, and this is something I struggled with just growing up through the 20s, is I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, so do I need to actively start acting like an older person or start thinking like an old person? Or is there a set age that I'm at, it's going to click, and then I'm not going to do immature things at times. I'm not just going to hit the Dougie all of a sudden when I hear a beat drop, you know? It's just like...
Right.
I don't know. Like... It's so... I'm just uncertain about it.
It'll click. I think it has clicked. I even think about the times when me and you were together, like...
The Vines?
Yeah, like the stuff we do then, I don't think we would do it as much now.
No.
And it's like one of those things like you would recognize like the sense of humor, I think, changes. And then you think about those... So... I think about that when I'm like getting annoyed with young guys. Young guys specifically annoy me because I don't know, they act a certain way, posturing and all that. But when I get critical of them, I think of the times when I was like that age and the stuff I would do and the stuff I would laugh at, and I'm like, I can't be too hard on them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I think it's just one of those things like it just clicks, and I think you just grow older and more quote unquote mature.
I just never want to turn to the tech sergeant and yell at the 2 airmen singing asking all the questions. I don't want to be that person. But then again, he probably never expected, you know, like we're in his shoes now. And it's like, we got, like you said, you're getting annoyed with young kids talking about video games.
Oh my God.
And now it's, oh my gosh, you're the tech sergeant now.
I know. I'm just having the moment right now that we are that. We probably are that.
Yeah.
Like we would probably want to yell at 2 kids running down the street screaming.
Just singing that song.
Why are you doing that? It's so unprofessional or whatever.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's an epiphany moment for me. I just realized that we are that. There's a backstory to that. If you didn't listen to the previous podcast, one or two ago, I think.
Yep, 2 ago.
Where it was like me and Justin were in tech school, right after basic training, and we're walking out of our building together. And we're just singing that, asking all them questions. That old YouTube song, that viral thing. We're singing it over and over, having a good time. Like, we're laughing so hard. It's the funniest thing in the world to us. And we just keep it going. And we just we're going, and this guy from the smoke pit, he's smoking cigarettes over there. Staff sergeant and tech sergeant, he yells at us, "Will you two shut up?" And to me, I was like, that dude is just grouchy and mean and hates life.
Old.
But now, and old. And now I'm looking back on it, we might have that feeling to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially being in his role as an instructor and having a bunch of airmen to see all day.
Yeah.
I could totally see myself doing
I get to now. You just accept it.
Oh, yeah, man.
What do you think about this war going on between Gen Z and millennials?
Oh, dude.
Have you seen that?
That one emoji, it's done.
The crying emoji? The crying laughing one?
It's done. Yeah.
Here's the weirdest thing. I felt like maybe I'm part Gen Z because I always hated that emoji. The crying laughing one.
Yeah, I know
because
we don't
every
use those
time
laughing emojis.
Every time someone sends one to me, I'm thinking that's the most fake laugh looking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I know you're not laughing that hard.
Exactly. If I know you're laughing, I make you laugh, Jesse, I get the ha 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 ha's or sometimes capitalized.
Oh, if it's all cap, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't remember the last time I've seriously put LOL or anything like that. I'm a ha 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 kind of person. Although, let me say, if you're a bah ha ha kind of person, I'm gonna have issues.
I hate that. We've never talked about that. It makes me think of a sheep. Bah ha ha.
Yeah, no one laughs like bah. No one laughs like that.
I remember the first time I saw that. This was 2008 or 9. I was still in that band that was with shout out Chris V, shout out to Baja Blast, shout out Chris V. I was in a band with Chris V a long time ago, and I remember we were in Florida, and there was some girl that texted him or me, and she was she hooked us up with some Disneyland tickets. But anyway, side story. She always said Baja Hot, but I specifically remember that's the first time I've seen that, and she did it all the time. Yeah. And I remember thinking, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. What else do you hate when people text? Lowercase LOL, just a LOL by itself. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's not giving me much.
It sounds so sarcastic, laugh loud.
Exactly. Exactly.
What about when people text a word and they leave 3 dots? ...
It's finish it.
It sounds
finish your thoughts.
Cool. This guy today, I was texting him about something about work, travel, DTS. Shout out DTS.
Shout out.
And he was I was just telling him, I was yep, should be good to go, or approved. And he said, cool, ... And it sounded to me in my head cool, cool.
Yeah.
I was why'd you do that? What does that mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think there is one thing that used to really bother me, and I say used to because now I do it all the time. I can't help it. But I would always have a problem with someone sending me one line at a time of their text. Say they got to tell me about 5 sentences, and they send one sentence at a time instead of one big text. I used to hate that, but I do it all the time now. I love it. Here's a thought. Send.
I love it.
Here's a thought. Send. And I love to do it now.
Sometimes you think you're done, then you're not. You're
and you keep adding to it.
And I'm this.
Exactly. And the worst thing is when someone that you're texting interrupts you, and you're like, no, I'm not done. But they wouldn't know because you're just sending separate texts in a row. So, man.
What else do you hate?
In life?
I hate the thumbs up.
Oh.
I hate the thumbs up.
On
texting.
Messages?
Yeah.
Or, so the thumbs up your text.
Just if someone sends you a thumbs up emoji to something I say. Because it just feels, I don't know.
That feeling? that feeling.
Yeah, go ahead.
That feeling that you have about the thumbs up is the feeling and I keep saying I used to because I used to have a problem with these things and now I do them, so now I don't. But when I text someone, especially like an iMessage, and you can do it like Facebook message and whatnot, is if you send a message and they heart your message or they thumbs up your message, I used to hate. I'm like, what the hell? Do you not have enough time for me? You just can't reply with a simple
right.
I used to hate that, and now I do it all the time.
You do, and I hate it too. When you do it to me, I'm like, what?
I know.
What's
I do
that
it to
mean?
you, and then you send a text. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll reply.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because texting there's like room for interpretation. So it's like, are they annoyed because I text him? I text Justin a little bit ago. I said he was like, when are you ready to dance? Like when you ready to do the podcast? And I think my phone had died, so I put it on the charger so I didn't see it. And then I said, getting drinks at the store now, then I'll be back. And then you just hearted it. And so I thought you were upset.
You said we be fleecing, and I heard that we be fleecing.
Well, I thought for a second that because you didn't text back, I was like, oh man, I took too long to respond to you. So I was scared that you were like, that I didn't plan out the time.
Yeah.
But then I know you're not upset because you're like, I don't know if you're
Jesse. I love
you. We don't get upset with each other. But like I said, sometimes I get like, and I'm very sensitive to text, though. I'll say that. My whole life, I've been very sensitive to short texters. So you could be anyone. And if you short text me.
And you overthink it.
I definitely take it wrong. So when I text people, I'm overly warm, overly whatever. But Justin texts me right now, K. Awesome. Yeah, when someone puts K. My mom does that. Ooh. But when she does it, she doesn't realize the repercussions of doing a K. She doesn't. She's 55, I think.
Yeah.
So she doesn't realize that.
Nah, her saying K is hip. That's cool.
Right. It could be different. Texting is crazy, man. There's so much goes into it.
It is. And like, is it just me? But it's kind of evolving.
It is.
Too, like as time goes on, texting has become like,
oh man,
I don't know. It's almost like
it's a game.
Yeah. And there's just,
it's an art.
It really is. It really is. And there's so many different styles and different, and it's crazy because it's texting, so it should all be pretty universal. But it's crazy. One thing that really sticks out to me is when I'm texting someone and all their texts start with a lowercase letter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do that on Twitter. Yeah. Why? I don't know.
And that's the thing. Like, if I'm messaging someone, it's either A, you're on the computer, so you just dimed yourself, so I know that, or B, you actually went through the process on your phone to go to the messaging settings and to delete the part where it says auto capitalize my first letter.
Oh, there's a
or Jesse goes to Twitter and he hits the button to unshift it and tweets it. And that's when I see that you tweet with an uncapitalized letter, I immediately resent you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But it's just like, I know, like, it almost feels like you're just having a normal conversation now. It actually kind of normalizes it a little bit. I don't know.
Why do I do that? Why do people do that?
Why do you do that?
It's an aesthetic. I think it makes it feel like there's something very subtle to the humor of it, I think. Yeah. Like almost like you're intentionally not using punctuation to seem funnier or something. Yep. That is a thing, but I can't really explain it, I guess, besides that. But what I also think about with texting, I didn't think we were going to talk about this, by the way, but it's very interesting.
It just happened.
We didn't plan this. How many exclamation points is too many? Because that's another thing that worries me about getting older. You don't want to feel old. Showing me a tweet I just did to the camera. Show me a tweet that I put up with the first letter not capitalized. You know what's funny? I was like, I don't think I do that anymore.
March
but
9th.
You just showed me my last tweet. I think was not capitalized. But what I was thinking was
exclamation points.
You want to, like, when you get older, you don't want to like appear old. Like you don't want to be like that middle-aged person on Facebook. That vibe.
Yeah.
Like posting those memes that are like, oh, those are like middle-aged people memes. But there's things I'm thinking about that have been brought to, you know, how I think. And it's like, oh, wow. I saw a meme that was like, middle-aged people overuse exclamation points. And I was like, oh my God. I use exclamation points to overcompensate for that interpretation in texting because I want people to know I am friendly and warm. Like that's good. But then you do it too much. It's like, oh no, now you seem like an old.
Yes, dude. When I don't see exclamation points in a message that I'm receiving,
yeah,
I just thought about this week. I just thought about today. Oh my gosh, this is great.
Today,
I got a text back from someone, kind of like a professional text. It was not someone I work with, but someone I actually work. It's weird, but we're talking about work. And he asked me a question. I replied back, boom, exclamation point. I want to let him know that, yes, I'm here for you. And then he replies, 3 sentences. There's no exclamation points in it. It's all periods. Okay, so I'm automatically overthinking. And I even noticed, I was talking to my professor over the last week, all periods. And then every time I send him a message, it's like exclamation point. Maybe I'm overcompensated. Maybe I need some extra credit. So I'm really happy about being here.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Also, more than 2 exclamation points might be too much. If you do 3, it might be a little bit too much. So 2. But I definitely put 1 exclamation point on many.
I definitely have a habit of doing like
many
a million
sentences.
Because I
feel like there's times where I put a period, and then I read it and I'm like, oh, this makes it seem like I'm not interested in this conversation at all. Like I'm just replying because I have to. And then I hit him with the exclamation point. I'm like, yeah, that's better. I feel good. And I sleep good at night because of it.
Texting is weird, man. Skinny jeans? I love skinny jeans, but it's starting to make me feel like maybe that's an old thing to do now.
Look at those exclamation points in our conversations.
I mean, it looks beautiful to me.
And look, you sent me one with 4 question marks. You must really be interested in that question. You really want to know the answer to it.
Oh my God, I need to stop doing that. That's such an old person thing to do.
No.
I think
you're
it
not
might
30.
be.
You're not 40. You're 33.
I'm late 20s. Late 20s. Oh man, I just had something I was going to think. Oh man, this is a juicy topic.
You got a juicy topic?
Yeah, we're talking about texting, and one thing that perturbed me was my troop. He is in context, all right, in context. This guy I supervise. He's a very intelligent guy. Very calculated, professional. He's the kind of guy that would wear polos. You know what I'm saying?
Polos.
He wears some khakis. Mm-hmm. He's got a BlackBerry phone.
I love that.
So
Retro.
think of that aesthetic. Do you think they're going to be good at texting? Like, you know what I mean? Overly warm.
No.
So with that in mind, he sends me a text. And he sends me a text that sounds like it looks like something, the way he wrote it, looks like a way your boss would send it to you. Not overly respectful.
Yeah.
I got so mad. And it was a quandary I had. I was perturbed. I was like, what do I do about this? How do I address this? Because I'm so friendly. I don't want confrontation. I was like, I'm overthinking this. What do I do?
Yeah.
And that was a hard thing for me to do because it was like, well, I know he's not very good at texting, but I can't force someone to be like good at texting, right?
Right.
But then like it's kind of like one of those things like you are careful with how you talk to your bosses, right?
Right.
Shouldn't texting be one of those things? I guess. Should I expect him to be more like careful with his wording? Because I'm not gonna lie, it bothered me, pissed me off.
No, I
did, but I didn't know how to get through it.
I received the email from my troop. One that is and just like the subject line not being capitalized, weird things in the email itself where it's like grammatically wrong, and it's just like I don't know. It's just very lazy, and I'm just like, this is a reply to my email, which is very respectful, like, hey, rank last name, blah 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 blah, VR whatever, and he just hits me with, and I'm just like, maybe.
Did he start out with just like he didn't even say? Did he say Tech Sergeant Cape?
No. There's times where he will or won't. Sometimes he'll say sir, and I know he just does that just to kind of rile the feathers up a little bit. He's one of those kind of people.
Really? You think he says sir
absolutely.
to like is like sarcastic?
Very sarcastic, and remind me to talk to you about this off air. I don't want to put all the business out. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's all good, but it's interesting.
Yeah. So after this pod, remind me. I got to tell you a story. But
juicy.
So super juicy. But maybe that's what we're talking about with the age barrier now. I guess now,
Right?
Like,
yeah.
maybe this new generation that's coming in is different like this. And the way they talk via text or messaging is just different. And it's very interesting.
Well, you
something
have to
I never really
adapt.
thought of.
Well, it's like I think every generation goes through it where they go, this younger generation is so entitled and different. And I think every generation does that. And I think maybe we're starting to see that little bit of because we're growing up, we're getting a little bit older, and we realize, being respectful and careful with how you're talking to people is important. And so when someone doesn't realize their actions, small as they can be, they don't realize what they're doing. Like, for instance, the office I work in is mostly the people that work the flight ops section. They're all young soldiers. So I've been hearing a lot of, there was a lot of complaints. They were all riling each other up with complaining and they were going to bring it to the E6 in charge, which is a staff sergeant in the Army. And I talked to her when all of them were gone. I was like, just be aware that it sounds like these soldiers are going to bring you a meeting. And she was like, really? What about? And I was like, it just sounded like a bunch of, I don't know. It sounded like a generational disconnect, because we were talking about it more and more, and we were kind of like, you don't realize when you're younger, you complain about very small picture things. Mm-hmm. Like, I had to stay late for work 3 days in a row, so I'm going to complain about it. You know what I mean? But you realize that no one's doing that on purpose, or you have to kind of suck it up and get through some of the hard stuff like that. And I think your attitude is what is so important. I think a lot of the younger people don't realize the small things you say, and your attitude is so important, and it's so noticeable. And so they had a big meeting. I don't even know what happened, because I wasn't there. I left because I was like, I don't want to be here, because I was getting agitated. Because that was another thing that was making me feel older, was noticing that because I'm usually always there with most of those flat ops people. So they were they're all young, 19, 20, 21. And they're complaining and riling each other up. And they're like, yeah, this sucks and this sucks. And they tried to drag me into it. They were like, yeah, you've been here. Jesse, you've been here. Remember when this happened? And I kind of just want to say, what, you had to stay 30 minutes over because the flight got delayed 30 minutes? Or you showed up at 5 and they didn't show up till 6, and that happened one time. Yeah. That stuff is going to happen. And to me, if I'm a boss, if I notice that you don't complain about that, I'm going to remember that. Yep. You know what I mean? And if you complain about it, I'll definitely remember that.
And that's the same thing I've noticed, I think, with this younger generation, is they're really quick to pick up on the parts of the extra effort that they have to go through, the extra time that they put in, but they don't pick up or remember the times where, hey, we let them go home early, or you get a day off. They forget about those times, but they'll hold this against you because you made them stay another 15, 30 minutes, or you're making them take a mock PT or something. It's just that's something I'm starting to pick up on, is the gratefulness, I guess, is a little bit lower and doesn't get recognized as much. And maybe that's just me stereotyping a young generation a whole.
Yeah, I think it is. I think every generation does that. I think every rotation, they all do it. I think I
Hell, I could have done it when I was younger. I just don't recall.
Could have, don't remember. Yeah. But it is interesting because, like you just said, I'm in that office and those guys work 6 hours usually, and they're gone, and 5-6 hours, and I'll be there longer than 2 of their shifts. I mean, there would be one there, and they'll leave, and I'll be there with the next one. So I'm not complaining. Mm-hmm. I'm there to be a part of the team. You know what I mean? So I think
part of the team. Know what I mean?
It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Having a healthy perspective of when I'm complaining about something, and I'll complain too, because sometimes it's fun, but not at work. You got to be professional. I'll complain with my best friends just to have a good time. This shit sucks, whatever.
Tell them.
But when you're at work, just be careful with your complaining, because sometimes it's people really take that in and they'll remember, and that will ruin your reputation, your image. And if you care about that, it's hard to get it back, man. It's hard to get it back. But there's always something worse going on. Always something worse. If you think working like 6 hours a day, you could be working 12-hour night shifts in Alaska. You know what I mean? When it's dark all the time. And then you depression. And it's cold outside. But then it could be worse, man.
There were times when Jesse was there, and he's just down the rut because he's working a 12-hour night shift, doesn't get to see the sun, I remember those times. But hey, excellent conversations. 1 hour mark has been hit. We are absolutely crushing it. Jesse and I have huge plans after this pod. I'm so excited. We're getting big old fat W's.
That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do with it. Speaking of that, Warzone. Warzone sometimes makes me feel old because I don't have the patience. I don't know if I have the patience to like some of those old twitchy shooters and stuff that we would play before. Like, I felt like I was really in it. Maybe, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe I'm just really sensitive. Like, I don't want to get old and I don't want to accept it, but then I don't want to fight it. So let us know. I want to know if you any of the listeners have made it this far. Thank you. Congratulations. Shout out to listeners. Thank you for listening. I want to know, how do you feel about, number one, any of you guys having kids? How do you feel about how you felt about the idea of life with kids before you had kids? And how do you feel about it now? You know what I'm saying? Message us at Brew Your Mind Pod, Instagram. Number two, I want to know, if some of you guys are getting a little bit older, what are some signs that you feel like, oh, damn, I'm getting older? Is it like fashion? Is it just like lingo? Is it TikTok dances? Is it TikTok? You know what I'm saying? Are you still on the MySpace phase? I want to know. Shoot us a message. Let us know. One more plug, Justin, then I'm done. Again, this will be on YouTube. We have this video. We got green screen set up. Can you believe it? There's going to be some images behind us. I don't know what it is. Might be something wild. But if you want to watch this on YouTube, we'll have this posted a week after the audio. And that will be on YouTube. Brew Your Mind Pod. Listen, bless up. All right. Another one. You know what I'm saying, Justin? That's all I got. That whiskey is hitting me now. Boy, I made it through this whole jar.
Bro, and you're going to be hitting them headshots here in a second. You know what I'm saying?
I got to slow down and speed up at the same time. How we do that? Hit neutral?
Yeah, dude.
Pop in the neutral and floor it?
You just got to tear the door off the hinges. I'm telling you.
You got to tear the door off the hinges.
Yeah, hey, thank you guys so much for listening. Seriously, this is episode 48 in the books. Next one, 49. And then, hey, they're 50. 50's right there, the season 2 finale.
2 + 2 was 4.
Minus 1, 3 quick maths. I'm telling you, man, I'm really excited. And I'm telling you, I love Jesse's smile. No, I saw a smile when I looked down. I love when you guys slide in our DMs. You share your thoughts. So please keep doing that. All about talking to you guys, man.
This was a great episode.
It's fun. And it's great. Jesse and I, we've found out that, we just throw down 4 or 5 different words in our notepad, and this is what happens. We come up with hour-long content, like none of this, half the stuff there was not on the notepad.
Side note, I get so tore up and worried that I'm not going to be prepared. And then every time we do this, and I'm like, what am I worried about? We just fly right through it.
I'm telling you, and that gives a lot of credit to you, Jesse, for being able to...
Shout out Jack Daniels.
This is your niche. Keep the Jack Daniels going, and we'll be good, man. I can only
to the moon, baby.
We're going to the moon, baby. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening to us this week. We'll be back to you a couple weeks from now. Jesse will be probably TDY, coming from a hotel room. It's going to be hot.
Probably.
We're going to be wasted. No, I'm kidding. But hey, thank you so much for listening. You guys take care of each other and be safe. Be careful. Don't forget
to brew your mind, baby.
See you guys.
Hey. That was great. I was looking at the camera and I was like, I was waiting for you to say it. I was going to say it with you. And then you tricked me. That boy tricky.
That boy.
That boy.
That's crazy.